I think this one I missed, that common qualities and particular qualities. And common qualities has 5 lists, and then fifth one they call the quality of the examples. And that fifth one, quality of example, itself has also 6 lists. So from that verses that start from the verse number 10. Oh.
And Zoom is still mute.
Oh yes, Zoom is still mute. So stay on mute. Okay. So now I think here everyone's here. Okay. One clarified one thing is that the quality, the common quality and particular quality, and common quality has 5 lists, and then fifth one, from fifth, then this, with the fifth there's 6 lists more, like they give examples, like example of the gold, example of the precious, example of the trees, and etc. There's 6 lists. The verse number from 10, for like the spring substance of the alchemist or something. From there, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 15th, and the 15th has 2 kind of, I think, the true, this, it benefit others unbound as the West loving world is one kind of qualities. So there is 6th, okay? And then particular qualities, now they have devices and essence and particular quality, there are 3. And the first device is that bodhicitta has 2 things in shortly, and number is hipasyasa. So then, and then this particular of these 2 things is that aspiration of bodhicitta and application of bodhicitta. Then they give examples, like someone who wishes to go and someone really goes. And that way we need to understand. So this Buddhi, now 15th, the bodhicitta, the awakened mind, as known in brief to have 2 aspects, is like more they call like devices, general. And then particular, they are saying that first aspiring bodhicitta in intention, the active bodhicitta practical engagement, and then these are the, maybe you can put together this next one, as corresponding to the wish to go and then to sitting out. The wise should understand respectively the 2 difference that divides these 2. So I think this aspiration is together with man and lam. So man is more like aspiration, wishes, and then lam means path, practice. So some masters also using the lam is like application, and man is more aspiration. However, aspiration is not that easy. Aspiration, we really need to practice again and again, very deeply, diligently. So as long as we do not have even aspiration of the bodhicitta, there is no way to have application in bodhicitta. That we should understand. So the really aspiration of the bodhicitta is that we genuinely have to have like equalism of the self and others, at least. And that is very big thing. Generally we have very much distinguishing self and others. Self and others. I am, my things, my families, and like my body, my speech, my mind, my enlightenment practice, my dedication, my realization, I think sometimes we have too much my things, right? So, having the genuine aspiration, bodhicitta, and then we have to have that equalism mind. So this four boundless attitude is like really that main cause of to having the aspiration bodhicitta mind. Aspiration bodhicitta mind. Four boundless. So these things we can read, even you can read in Tibetan nowadays, many of Westerners by heart, which is fantastic. But then thing is that are we really thinking of this exactly in our mind is another thing. So this doesn't come just by only prayers, reciting every day doesn't much really, I think, helpful to arising of the such things. So therefore we really need to meditation, meditation. The kind of actual this aspiration, we have three aspects. One is equalism of the self and others, and second, exchanging of the self and others, and third is other is more important than self. So these three things, if we really arise in our mind, then we can say that I have aspiration of the bodhicitta mind. So among these three, the first is equalism of the self and others. So in the four boundless we call equanimity. Equanimity. There is like, I think, is sympathetic joy, and what is called compassion, and then loving kindness, and then
joy.
This equanimity mind, I think equanimity or...
Rejoicing.
Sorry?
Rejoicing.
Who teach you that?
Four boundless.
Where is from the four boundless, where is the rejoicing?
That is the fourth. Joy.
You don't know Shem. You don't come on this such with... I just joke. Okay, there's no such things. So, we call, I think, fourth one is great equanimity. Tongyang Semepa, boundless of the, what we call, is we have here, and because there's debating camps, so I have to prove. So here they say that boundless equanimity, the fourth one is boundless equanimity. So, boundless equanimity means that equalism of the self and others. So once we have such mind there, then I think many things are totally released, We have such bondage self and others today. Because of that, and we also clinging, and many things are involved, many emotions are there. So equalism of the self and others, exchanging of the self and others, and other is more important than self. These three things are we call the aspiration of the bodhicitta mind. So do we have these things now? Do we think of these things? We need to really think. We need to carefully think. So such really want to be practitioner of the bodhicitta mind or bodhisattva, we need to concern about these things. So, in words of my perfect teacher, they also mention these things. I think it's that the most, teaching of the how you say that guidance of the practice, not like education levels, but more practice. And they really use a lot of from these books, from these books, Shantideva books. However, this aspiration, Tibetan word man and lam. Lam means we need to practice, we really need to practice. So, more we meditate about that. And then I think when we have something that's such first level of the aspiration, then maybe you are already kind of entered into the application mode. Because like application is really we are applying such that we do generosity. So if someone has such that mind equalism of the self and others, then maybe generosity is not so difficult. I think whatever you have, we can easily offer to our children, right? Or your parents or brothers, sisters. That is not so difficult because we are more close, mentally more close, physically maybe even more far, but I think mentally more close. So therefore, its generosity is not that difficult. But if you say, okay, want to offering something, someone you unknown people, that can be not that difficult. But it's far difficult than what you offer to some of your family members. But if you talk about something generous to someone who you don't like, who you dislike one, no, that is why I need to give to them, right? So why? Because we don't have the equalism of mind of self and others. So such that we do not have such things, then our generosity is very limited. Maybe only you like once you can do something. Or the things that something you don't like once you can give something. But once we have equalism mind, maybe we can give what I like once and to who I don't like once. So that is maybe, I think, something that's symbol of we have some kind of mind of equalism. So these things are also mind training. Today we talk about mind training and you are counting breath or something. Maybe you are good counter of the breath, but that doesn't much help. But if you are mind training with such things, then maybe we can be really free of many attachments and many problems. So aspiration is more than just only prayer or something, but really need to training. So therefore this lam means path. So when you have such path, it means, I think we can see it's something kind of long journey. So anyway, what you need to know is that aspiration of bodhicitta, okay? And that must be included of the self and others, must be involved of the wisdom and compassion, mind, and many things need to involve. And not just only aspiration, what you don't know what you're praying, there's no end, there's no meaning, there's no plan, there's no knowing. Then it's aspiration is just like something you throw on the space and nothing came out. So we have to really think sometimes. I really wish that we practitioners, we more concerned about meaning of the teachings, more important or more concerned than just praying, or study, and mind is more like dry, then that we call the wisdom went wrong direction, outlook. So there is in Tibetan also, we have such things that wisdom just only for outlook, means that never linked with one's mind. So that doesn't really much help, okay? Anyway, how to meditation things, it will come also in the next chapters, but I want to tell also how important of those bodhicittas, so therefore I want to tell these things here also. That is not so difficult, okay? And the two devices, and then this subject, this particular quality has that devices, essence, this one is aspiration, one is really applying, and they used to example also someone who wished to go to Lhasa and someone really joined into Lhasa. This is the like how they are. They explained, what the meaning of this crossing of wish to go and then to setting out means like that. So then next is like this third one, the particular quality something, in this subject there are also particular qualities, okay? 현실 멤버 생기는 코스엔지를 체험용 제대로 유비 생기는 소남 진짜 용어만 현실 멤버 생기는 and these are the more devices of the aspirations benefit quality and applications qualities. I think these two things that they're talking about. So so that someone who have aspiration of bodhicitta, such aspiration of bodhicitta, and then here says even this bodhisattva as practitioner, you are in samsara. Of course you are in samsara, right? You have aspiration of bodhicitta, but still you are in samsara. However, since you have this aspiration bodhicitta, so you have such great result, great fruit of the enlightenment. And then such there is one quotation says, such that call the precious jewel of the diamond, diamond even broken, even like pieces, it's no problem. It's such kind of good quality. This cup is if it's broken and then we need to throw away. There's nothing left, right? This phone is very expensive, but when they're broken, we need to throw away. But diamond is even piece, very small piece. No problem, still very good ornaments of the anything. So Buddha says, likewise, whoever has such bodhicitta aspiration mind and and you do not have like such kind of application bodhicitta mind yet, but however you have such kind of aspiration bodhicitta mind is like diamond, piece of diamond, piece of diamond. So piece of diamond and even that better than like gold or silver and etc. Likewise, he says that who have aspiration of bodhicitta, you are far more kind of better or high result than Shavakayanas, Patika Buddhayanas, and etc. Of course, then worldly virtues are no question. And at the same time, and as long as you have aspiration of bodhicitta, you have name of the bodhisattva there. The piece of the diamond is already precious jewel. You never lose your name. Likewise, someone who has such kind of aspiration of bodhicitta, you are bodhisattva. You are more higher than like the arhats or shavaka and patika buddhayanas, because you really see the equalism of the sentient beings. You have such kind of help also that you can share your good qualities and take bad qualities from others, which is the Hinayana practitioners, they cannot do. So therefore, you are already very high quality of the practitioners. So therefore, I think aspiration bodhicitta is not easy. Not easy. We need to really, it didn't come just on saying these words, but we have to really train these things. Understand? And then Next one, then what the benefit of this application bodhicitta? How differences of the application bodhicitta and the aspiration. And then next, what they're saying is that you are that higher than that, like Shavaka and Patika Buddhas, those who have aspirations, but not such that application bodhicitta has merit. You don't have such things, Buddha says. Because ones who have really application bodhicitta mind, application bodhicitta mind, then that merit it comes naturally. So such like that doesn't have the aspiration bodhicitta, that didn't come by natural. However, okay, those who really took vows of the application bodhicitta and who have raised application bodhicitta mind, and those practitioners, even they are sleeping, even they are doing just daily life things, without any kind of consent, without any effort, the merit is naturally increased. And here they're talking about the benefit of that sentient beings, or merit is something that equalism of the space. So these verses, it shows from that 17th and 18th and 19th, these three kind of four verses, it shows those meanings. So I think I will read this as like little bit translations. I will read the meaning is the same thing. So from bodhicitta in intention, great result arise for those still training in the wheel of life. I think this translation I don't like some point. I feel like it's not same as general. Wheel of life means I don't know, but meaning is that in the samsara. I think samsara is this.
Cycling, yeah, it means cycling in the wheel of cycling in the samsara.
Okay.
Equal.
But this exactly what they translate different anyway. Wheel of life, and yet merit does not. That means that even you are living in samsara, your result is like great, more great than ahats and things like that. And yet merit does not arise from it is ceaseless streams, as is the case of the active bodhicitta. So that means active bodhicitta is even more. Active bodhicitta result, it comes by natural. And for when with irreversible intent the mind imbears bodhicitta, willing to set free of endless multitude of beings in the instant from that moment on. And a great and unlimited stream, a strength of whom some merit even during sleeping, and what is that? In intention rays equal to the vastness of the sky. That is the benefit of the application bodhicitta. And these two things are big difference. So therefore, the raising of the bodhicitta, firstly, aspiration bodhicitta is really important. And then we need to training, And of course we can meditate with like what is the position or sitting somewhere. Aspiration is one way you can practice, but other way, whenever you see some people, easy people, difficult people, and if we really always think of the little bit bodhicitta mind, like try to, how should say, different ways, we try to kind of dealing different ways, and etc. if you are always looking of the aspiration, bodhicitta in your mind, any situation, I think there is, you will feel it some days, okay? So then once the aspiration of the bodhicitta arises, then after application is more easy. And once the application bodhicitta arises, then the merit it becomes by natural. Okay, that is one thing. Now, like here, the subject is a little different. That's the one of the main subject of this afternoon teaching, which is they're talking about now like sensitivity, the benefit and quality of the bodhicitta, and how to receiving. And then first one they call actual benefits and qualities are completed finished. And then the second was that I think logically, how they benefit, the shows more logic of how the benefit of such kind of things. So now they talk about more logic, how the bodhicitta is such kind of powerful, they talk about bodhicitta as such powerful, and they show us now logic. And then the logic, they show us two ways. And the first one is more like logic because Buddha taught. And then second is the more really logic. First is more like, Buddha's, they put Buddha's word. If you are Buddhism, if the Buddha's word, we should believe, we should confident. We don't need any other logic. Once the Buddha taught, naturally we should believe. But if someone not Buddhism, if we say Buddha says this, and for them it doesn't much really kind of power. So we need to really logic, we used to logic. So logic is more like scientific way. However, the first they use one of the Buddha's words, then so therefore, the here says that this the Tathagata in the sutta Subbahu requested said with response argument for those inclined to lesser paths. That means lesser path means like more Hinayanas. So for Hinayanas, there's like anyway Buddha taught to the one of his student. So says that those who have the bodhicitta mind and they have such kind of source of the merit, and this is Buddha's taught, this is such really is kind of correct, reality is like that, he says. And mainly the intention was like those who have capacity to become joined into the Mahayana, yet they are more lazy, and enjoy with Hinayana, just say that I'm fine, I'm okay, I don't need more responsibility, I have my own job, it's more than enough, I'm happy, something like that. And Buddha seeing that they have capacity to join into the Mahayana and practice for not only for themselves, but for everyone. So then Buddha told to them, there is immeasurable, what he told is that there is sentient so then Buddha said that there is the immeasurable of the sentient beings. And if you max immeasurable of the benefits and joys, with your immeasurable of the kind of focusing or intention or aspiration, and your virtue is also become immeasurable. Because the sentient beings are immeasurable, and your focusing is immeasurable, thinking of the benefit and joys are also immeasurable. So therefore, and the virtue and root of virtue is become immeasurable. And so therefore, Buddha says, and even then you are become sleeping, you are become just careless, or day and night whatsoever, and your virtue become just increasing, increasing. And one day totally complete it, like Wasimmo. And he told that. So because of that, Shantideva used that quotation. Because of that quotation, he used these verses. What this I already read one, that this Tathagata, etc., this number 20. And then the next one is more like they call, I think, is logic. And from logic, there is firstly two things, mentally and the also actual action is two. They're talking about this particular quality, or how you say this reason, what they talk about is, that is logic. The beneficial is has such that, they use some logic from mentally and actual. And for the first one, mentally, there's two kind of things. The first is the saying that sentient lennet som salon the summer pendo samba tonde the sonapame dangerous. You use that if you have such kind mind, but your kind mind is only few sentient beings, like your friend, you have such kind mind towards to the some of your friend, and who is really sick, and you really wish to free from that sickness, and you think, you wish, and you also trying to help them, and that is virtue, right? We can see that is something wonderful thought, and great kind of way of thinking. We, such great also benefit mind, and that has such kind of also merit, We believe that has merit. Even Hinayana believe that. And I think non-practitioners believe that. That is something great action. And sure they have merit. And then if like small object of people you think like that, if they have such great merit, then you say use logic. If you're thinking of the immeasurable of sentient beings, and you're helping or bring happiness is like everlasting happiness, wish to become everlasting happiness, or remove of the root of suffering. If you're thinking like that, compare of the small people and maybe free from some sickness, temporary sickness, the genuine mind and genuine thought, and they have such merit. But now compare of the immeasurable of sentient beings and wish to have everlasting happiness or free from the root of suffering, then there is no such really question. Surely they are immeasurable of the benefits and merit and truth. So this is the one kind of logic. So that's logic. I hope you got that logic. Okay. So therefore, the word is the verses of Sanjay Namsosa. Okay. The verse, the 21. If with kindly generosity one merely has the wish to soothe the aching hearts of other beings, such merit, non no bound. And then I think it goes together this next one also, and even I think next. Okay, maybe not next one. Okay. Salonde quando sono come delle sentire juri mo devo pode me passando no re e de come de giovando ba no jubus. Good. Actually it's very good, very strange. Oh, is this no okay, no need to speak, yes, sorry. No need to speak then of the wish to divide a way of endless pain of each and every living beings, bringing them unbounded excellence. So, these two are I will explain, okay? Clear. So, now, as next one, they talk about, like, that even Jiken Chiban for the temple. So that is, I think that kind of benefit is far more better than worldly some kind of kindness of the benefits. So, Pamayona, Mayonode, Yenshin, Salamon, depends on Yodam, Mela. Okay, this Bodhicitta mind or kindness mind that doesn't have such things, even father, even mother, even your good friends, and etc. They're talking about also gods, sages, Satu Babajis, etc. Your Mares, and one of the, that words of the Buddha Marchia says, Jasi Pembe, somebody, Drogan number, Nibarta, Tejan, Pata, Mata, Hinyan, Bonapomotala, Lemony. So, we do have kindness, but that is something that we cannot compare with bodhicitta mind. So such is bodhicittas or bodhisattvas kind mind is, no one has such things. They're talking about that your father, mother, God, etc. Those can be very great one, mind, great kindness, but they cannot compare of the bodhicitta mind. So that is the talking about from here. Could our father or our mother even have so generosity is wish, doing the very God and rishis, not Seji but rishis, even Burma, harbor such benevolence as this? For in the past they never, even in the dreams, wished something like this even for themselves. How could they do so for another's sake? Clear, right? And next is this aim to work for the benefit of beings, a benefit that others wish not even for themselves. This noble state of mind, noble jewel-like state of mind arrives truly wonders never seen before. Fundamental magical. So I think when we really arise at bodhicitta mind in our mind, I think we should know also. We should know also. Our merit, power, happy, everything can be changed. Okay. So these two are like more about mentally, the such kind of way of the particular of the qualities. The weak logic, someone thinking of the free from the sickness, small amount of sentient beings has great merit. Then if someone thinking of the measurable of sentient beings, there's no question. And then other one is this kind of particular really mind kindness is no one else has than bodhisattvas. And then also now from the talking about actual actions. Europe minam jachevano. Te yena meditemas. So actual action and the focusing is such kind of vastness, you know, and this kind of vastness is no one else has. There's two kind of. Firstly, how these are vastness of actions, and second is that there is no one else has. Ruwa kanji gawa ji senje dunga chichirba, runchen senji sonam tela chidar yarjilong, pembe samba samdi sonji chuli chenpa na senje ma, dene semba jibura ruwa kanji gawa ji senje dunga nese su penda chibura nese ji sonam kongi ma chidar yarjilong. Okay, then I will explanation this with one quote from Buddha. Hyongche Senji Sonam, and Buddha was talking about the merit of the bodhicitta. If there is he says that if there is such kind of form, and then even sky is not enough. No, sky is not enough for the keep things. And even more, he says, that was the one of the Buddha's quote. And then the logic is that Senchen and Pemba Samjichos. And even if you have such really this genuine aspiration, you know, benefit mind, even if you have such kind of just only aspiration, and that is such more merit than that you are offering all jewelries to the precious jewels to the immeasurable Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas for eons, you know, and then someone who really has genuine aspiration, bodhicitta mind, and merit is that one is more amount than someone who offerings to the, you know, precious jewels, the old Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas. And that was one of the Buddha's quotes too, actually. So therefore, and then someone really tried to have this application bodhicitta, you know, they try to efforts to benefit of the measurable sentient beings. And there's no question, you know, someone only thinking or aspiration has such great merit, then if someone really tries to do things for the benefit of sentient beings, then there's no question. Okay? So that word is here the lingual verses that Roa Pinki Gauji Roa. So that the pain dispelling dove, this cause of joy for those who wander through the world, this precious attitude, this jewel of mind, how shall we calculate its merit? If the spell simple thought to be of help to others, more like aspiration of bodhicitta, and exceed in word of worship of the Buddhas, and what needs they are spoken of actual need, deeds that brings about the will of benefit of being. Okay? So I think Tim is now saying that you are already 9 o'clock, so maybe you guys already start pen, I think. So maybe we can begin the what you want to ask but this maybe now I think we can stop here. Anyway, today is just starting, so I want to make one chapter finish, but maybe tomorrow.